I know it just started and you might not be here yet, but if you're watching this on the replay, thanks for being here on the replay. This is the live group Q&A for the Force Acceleration Mastermind that happens on the inside. So there's a bunch of people here on Zoom that are hanging out with me right now. And we got some stuff to talk about. If you're here on YouTube, you're watching on YouTube, you can ask me anything in the chat. I'll put that in there. And if you are curious and you'd like to brainstorm with me, you can do so at this link right here. I did something really cool this week. This is super, super technical, but one of the things that we teach inside the program is creating easy to remember links that take you to places, like an easy to remember link that would take you to your calendar, and an easy to remember link that would take you to a Zoom, like your Zoom. Like I've got one that just opens up my perpetual Zoom. And one of the challenges that we face is that a lot of the places where you register your domain and you set up the domain forwarding, which you'll find in the training, by the way, don't allow you to forward via HTTPS without some sort of hosting account that has SSL attached to it. GoDaddy is notorious for this. And also where the registrar I use, Namecheap, has the same problem, where they don't assign HTTPS to the originating address, which is like prouty.me, which is my calendar. So you have to use HTTP. That's a problem on some networks because some networks block all HTTP traffic. And so they won't allow it out. And I've got some clients who are like using their Meet with Me link to get to their Zoom, and they've got companies with firewalls and advanced routing systems that block any outbound HTTP traffic because it's not secure. So that's a problem. So the way I figured this out, and inside Force Acceleration, I will bring this to you as a step-by-step training. Okay, so if you've experienced, I'm going to make a step-by-step training. It is technical in that what we do is we set up a very simple hosting account for the domain, but that hosting account, you could build a website for it, but you don't. It's just an empty hosting account. And you create a small file that's a text file called an htaccess file at the root of the hosting account. And then there are 4 lines of code that you write in that file. And now you can send people to that address with HTTPS, and the htaccess file forwards them along. So I solved that problem this week. I was looking for an elegant solution. And the initial solution, yeah, see, it pops up and says, this site's not secure, click to continue, right? Exactly. So the initial solution was going to be something like I'm going to spin up a one-page website that says, hey, you landed here to join a meeting with Chris. Here's the button to launch that meeting. That's what I was first going to do. But if we can eliminate steps, it's always going to be better. Anytime you can eliminate a step, eliminate a step. Yeah. So you guys who are in the mastermind, I'm going to bring that training to you. It's advanced, and I'm going to describe it. I'm going to go really, really slow when I describe it, so that you just know exactly what to type and exactly what to do. So there'll be no guessing. And I'll even provide you with the exact files that I use. If you're here on YouTube watching live, or you happen to be watching this in the replay and you are curious as to what it might be like to be in a collaborative mastermind with me, and you want to talk to some people who have been in it for years, there's a cool link you can go to. It's there's no S on it yet. Collab.prouty.me, which will allow you to learn about the collaborative mastermind. And I'm putting that right in the chat. So if you go to collab.prouty.me, you can learn about the collaborative mastermind. There are openings for that mastermind that are coming up, and we are doing some crazy stuff in there. Some crazy stuff. I think we had a meeting yesterday. We went for 2 hours, and we really opened up a whole bunch of stuff for people to get just wildly more productive. I just closed my cup and went to take a drink, and I was shocked that nothing came out. All right. I'm going to try to keep an eye on YouTube and talk to you guys at the same time. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is, let me bring up some notes for this so that we can take some notes while we talk. And so that anybody who joins even a few minutes in knows what we're talking about. Okay, here we go. I'll share my notes with you. So this is important. This isn't the sexiest topic on the face of the earth, but it's an important topic. And it's one that will help you quite a bit. Collab notes. What's the date? 7th? June 7th? I'm just calling this call a collab call. I know that it's wide open, right? I know this call is wide open for, for anybody that's ever worked with me, and we don't really do the deep secret stuff here. But I'm going to call it the collab call because eventually I'm not going to let anybody else in this thing. A time's going to come. You write down that you heard this. A time's going to come where I shut this one down for anybody who's not part of the collab. And it's just going to be the collab people. And then everybody else, well, I don't know. We'll have to figure out something to do with them. And so somebody said to me yesterday, why do you still do the Friday calls? Because who's been around since I started these Friday calls? Raise your hands. I started these Friday calls. Oh my gosh. Right, Eileen? Do you remember when the first one was? Was it 2019 or was it 2020? It was not. Was I doing these when you and I met? Was it 2020? So I've been doing this every Friday for 4 years. I bet it was like April or May in 2020, the first one. I bet it was. So, oh wow, you can look that up. I bet it was sometime around now. So I've been doing this every Friday for 4 years, and that's pretty cool. Okay, so here are the notes for today. First topic 1 is, get ready. I didn't make this statement up. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay, a little bit of mindset stuff here. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And so here's the origin of this. Someone scheduled a call with me and didn't show up. Now, this doesn't happen very often to me for a couple of reasons. First, I don't make it easy to schedule a call with me because my time is super busy. I don't have a lot of time on my calendar for calls, and I don't have time for idiots that schedule calls and don't show up. January 15th was the first one, 2021, so I'm 3.5 years in. Thanks, Eileen. So I don't have time for idiots that book calls and don't show up. You're wasting my time. You're taking time on my calendar and you're not showing up. And that's, that's just, whatever. So someone scheduled time with me and they didn't show up. Now, I have email reminders that go out prior to my calls. And so there was an hour reminder, there was 24-hour reminder, hour reminder, and then we're getting started. All of those were opened by the person. And they still didn't show up. So then 3 minutes in, I send them an email. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm here on the Zoom. I'm going to hang out for a few more minutes. Saw it delivered, saw them open it. They still didn't show up. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're booking calls with people, this is not you guys in the mastermind, by the way. You guys are a different kind of person. But how you treat others, that indicates how you are everywhere. So if you're sloppy like that, you're going to be sloppy everywhere. And I looked up this person and I looked at some of their online stuff. It's full of spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes. It's full of unclear messaging. They're selling something that they don't look like they could actually deliver. So I looked up all of this stuff in the 5 minutes that I had while I'm waiting for them. I'm like, well, let's check out who this person is. But you can just see that they're sloppy and they're lazy in every part of their life. They're too sloppy and they're too lazy to correct their online presence. Their profiles are terrible. They might not even be good enough to become a part of this, of what we have going on, because that's how sloppy and lazy they are. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you can see by how they present themselves online and then how they carry about themselves in business. And I'm sure they're this way in life as well. They probably, I'm totally generalizing here. I don't know this person at all. But, they're probably very sloppy and lazy in their personal life as well. Personal finances are probably out of control. They probably eat trash and are disrespectful to their parents. I don't know if that's true or not. So you must find the discipline to do everything with the level of discipline, focus, and commitment that you say you're going to. I hope that makes sense. In the collaborative call yesterday, we talked about my schedule, and I have a very rigid schedule, a very regimented, very rigid schedule. And it no longer requires discipline. My schedule does not require discipline at all now. But for the first couple of weeks, it required a lot of discipline to be able to follow, like every minute of every day, 7 days a week is mapped out for me. Even like when I take my first bite of food, it's all mapped out. And I do this for a high level of predictability, consistency, and I don't like it when things make my schedule change. There are some people in the mastermind, the Galvanized mastermind, who I talk to every day, and they know, Eileen will verify this. Eileen will know how cranky I get when one thing shifts one part of my schedule, and I get extremely cranky. I still smile and laugh. You don't mess with my schedule. Somebody asks if my kids being out of the school impacts my schedule. It does not impact my schedule. My schedule does not change ever. And the kids know that. The kids know that. I have a 6-year-old granddaughter. Yeah. So I've got what? Anybody remember how old my kids are? 5? I'm going to guess. 5, 9, 10, 14, and they're all home. They know the level of discipline and the level of regiment that I have. They know how my schedule is, and they know every minute is blocked. But they also know that there's an abundance of time that's blocked for them. There's hours a day that it's just them. My schedule is just the kids. And they know that on the weekends, when they're awake, it's all about them. So the kids being out of school does not impact my schedule. My schedule stays exactly the same. And the kids know it, but they know that I break at 5, I run at 5, and they can go on a bike ride while I run. They can ride alongside of me on their bikes. That's cool. And then they know when I get home from that run, it's going to be dinner and family time. And family time is we're outside playing, we're riding scooters, we're playing hide and seek, we're shooting the hose at each other. We're doing all that fun stuff. So they know. Yeah, they know. Somebody says, I find now that after a year following that schedule, when I don't follow the schedule, I feel out of sorts, discombobulated, and thoroughly inefficient. It's wild how it works when you follow a regimented schedule. So you guys in the mastermind, that I'm going to be putting that training that training will be in the membership area, but I'm also going to put it in the Collab space that I showed you earlier. I can't open that Collab space now because we're live in a public forum. I don't want to, that's private. But that stuff is going to be in there for you. And in the Collab space, once you get the invitation and you get in there, in the Collab space, you will also find the written version of that schedule. I wrote the whole thing up and put it in there. So you'll find that as well. So that you can look at any day in the future and you'll know where I am and what I'm doing. Okay, so how you do one thing is how you do everything. Someone scheduled a call with me, they didn't show up, and then I verified this. I looked at all of their stuff online, and they're just sloppy everywhere. And I'm not offended when people don't show up because that's a great filter for someone I can help or not. If you're the kind of person that you schedule the call to meet with me to get help and then you didn't show up for it, I can't help you at all. At all. There's nothing I can do for you. You don't have the part of your brain that I need to tap into to help you. It's missing in you. Right? I'm not being judgmental here. It's an observation. You just don't have that part of your brain. I'm sorry. I don't know where it went. Maybe you'll get it one day, but you don't have it today. And I need that part of your brain for you to be successful. So, okay, so topic one, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So the takeaway here is find the discipline to be consistent, to be consistently excellent everywhere. Because this person was consistent. I looked at all their socials. They were consistent. They're sloppy everywhere. You got to be consistently excellent. So then that brings us to topic number 2. This is a great conversation I had with somebody yesterday. How do I decide what to do? There's a lot I want to do. How do I decide? How do I decide and focus? And so if you have not been through the training on the inside on extraordinary performance, radical levels of achievement and extraordinary performance, if you're on the inside and you have access to that, that's a training that you definitely want to take. If you're here on YouTube and you're watching this live or in the recording, I've got this unbelievable training that took me 25 years to figure out. And it is called, here, Train Your Brain for Radical Achievement and Extraordinary Performance. It's this. I delivered this thing live back in October. And October 4th was when I delivered it. I have people that message me on the 4th of every month telling me how many months it's been that they're still employing what they learned here and how it has changed their lives and their businesses. So if you're here on the Zoom, I'm looking at the list. We've got a bunch of people here, and I think you all have access to this. You should all have access to this. Some of you here saw this live. I'm going to update this and do it again live, probably again in October. So I'll try to get that information to you as soon as possible because I know people like to travel in for this. And I would love to see you. I'd love to be in your company in doing this. Get access to this. If you're here on the YouTube and you want access to this, go to mylastname.me, go to prouty.me and schedule a meeting with me. I'll see if it's right for you, and then I'll offer a way for you to get this for free. Because I really want people consuming this. It's so very powerful. I think, how many lessons is this thing? Like 10 lessons? Yeah, it's 10. Oh, I didn't want to open that up, but it's 10 lessons. And we cover a ton in here. So it's a game changer for you. So if you're here on the YouTube, live or in the recording, go to prouty.me like this. Just go to that, put that into your web browser, and get on my calendar for 15 minutes, and I'll show you how you can get it for free. I somehow managed to pull off the best coffee today. Like I'm astounded by my own ability. I'm never really ever impressed with my ability to make coffee. Somehow today I figured it out. Somehow today that thing is super good. Okay. So there's a lot I want to do. How do I decide? What made it there's no bitterness to it. So I got the grind and the tamping right. There's no bitterness to it. There's no bitter at all to this. So that means I got the grind right. I got the tamp right. Got the right pressure going through it. So when you have a lot of things that you want to do, how do you decide where to focus? And what I encourage you to do is do the STEM exercise. The STEM exercise will be the game changer for you. So the STEM exercise, you answer these questions. What 3 to 5 things, 305, my Miami friends, what 3 to 5 things do you fill your space with? That's the S. What 3 to 5 things, oh my word, do you spend your time on? T. What's the E? Predict the E. You guys remember? How do you expend your energy? How do you spend your energy? List 3 to 5 things. And what do you spend your money on? What are the top 3 things? Okay, so that's the STEM exercise. So you do this, you make this list. You make this list, and then that's step one. And then you look for the things that are common. What is jumping off the page at you? So how do you fill your space? If I look around my space, if I were to list my 3 to 5 things, it's like stuff for my business. Like my space, I'm a minimalist. Anything in my space is for my business. Like if I just reach out and touch anything, it's business, it's for the business. So I fill my space with business stuff. Then if I happen to walk through the house, there's kids stuff. And then that's it. Like seriously, no one, I've had some people visit my house, but nobody recently. Like when people come into my house, they feel like I'm moving out because that's how little stuff I have. Like there's nothing on my walls. There's, very little furniture. The bedroom is literally that. It's a room with a bed in it. Nothing else. There's nothing else in that room. It's just a room and a bed. And I even think that's too much. Why can't people just sleep on the floor? I kind of actually mean that. I said it kind of joking, but I kind of actually mean it. You would think that I have physical fitness stuff because I work out twice a day, but I've just got. Somebody says there's a jungle in my place. I really work very hard. And when kids don't clean up after themselves, I'll go get a big trash bag and I'll hold the trash bag and I'll start walking towards their stuff and I'll say, I'm going to clean right now. Because they know I am a get rid of everything. You have a jungle of plants, is that right? That's cool. That remind me about that. I want to ask you guys a question about that. All right, so it's business stuff and kid stuff. That's it. Where do I spend my time? Well, business, kids, fitness. Starting to, you guys who know me, right? Where do I spend my energy? Business, fitness, kids. I spend a lot more energy on fitness than I do on kids. Where do I spend my money on? The kids get most of the money because it's expensive to feed them. And I try not to buy a lot for the business because I don't need a lot. I've got my monitor, I've got my keyboard and my computer and my 2 cameras and my lights and the microphone. So kids cost more than the business, but then business is after that. And then I buy running shoes like maybe 8 times a year. Jadwan, how often do you buy running shoes? Like I go through a pair every 6 weeks, which sounds about right because I run 9 a day, 6 days a week. That's 54 miles a week times 6. That's about 300 miles. Yeah. 325 miles. That sounds about right for a pair of shoes. So I buy new running shoes. So ready? Where do I spend my money? On running shoes. That's it. I don't go out. I don't eat out. Oh, I probably spend money on coffee. I probably spend some money on coffee. Although I'm so grateful. I have people that send me coffee. Like I have boxes that show up with coffee all the time. The coffee I'm drinking today is a whiskey barrel aged Starbucks Reserve that someone sent to me. You're cycling more now. So you're going through tires. All right. So what jumps off the page? Business, 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 business. Now I'm fortunate in that I have one singular focus on my business, right? What else jumps off the page? Kids, 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 coffee. So you can tell by looking at this, you can really tell what inspires you the most. I'm going to read that in a second. May I read that? Something was sent to me privately. I won't call you out, but may I read that? Because that is a profound statement. May I read that without calling you out? So you can tell what inspires you the most by what, and you can say no. I won't read it if you don't want me to. I'm cool with that. You can by what jumps off the page. When you look at mine, what jumps off the page? My business. So if I didn't write business, what I would write here is helping people profit, have impact, and have fun in their business. That's really what it means. Like, how do I fill my space? With stuff that helps me help people make money, have impact, and have fun. When I write business, that's what it is. So what inspires me the absolute most? Well, it's that, right? So you can tell what inspires me most. It's that, it's the kids, and it's fitness. Coffee is just a part of like a part of my life. It's the only thing with flavor that I have for 23 hours every day. I got to try to recreate that one later this afternoon. That is so good. So then what do you do? How do you synthesize this into what you decide to focus on for your business? Well, step A is the STEM exercise. Yikes. I'm just trying to tab this stuff in. So then step B, thanks. Oh my word, whatever. You guys know, you see it. Step B is what things on your list, come on, Prouty. Oh my word, my space bar is crazy. What things on your list of potential revenue sources most closely align with your inspiration? So if I wasn't helping people profit, have impact, and have fun, the next logical thing for me to look at would be, what can I do to help, like, it's not just my kids, like the neighborhood kids. Like everybody gathers in my driveway. They want to play basketball with me and my kids. I crush them because they're 4 feet tall. I can take that ball out of their hands and get it in the thing. I can dominate those kids. I won't always be able to. So let me have that. We do running races up and down the street. I crush them because they're 9. One day they'll beat me. So let me have my spotlight. But okay, so if I wasn't doing this, find a job that helps kids be better humans. Create a business that helps kids be better humans. What would it help the kids do? Learn how to profit, have impact, and have fun. I would develop something that teaches kids how to be kids who are, early teens to teens, learn how to become entrepreneurs, make money, have impact, and have fun. I would just do that, but I could do it with kids. That actually sounds like a pretty good idea. If I didn't feel like doing that, what's next? Fitness. Find something that I could do with fitness. Go get some certifications. Go down to the beach every morning and start throwing a ball up in the air, a big heavy ball. And then within a couple of weeks, there'll be 20 people standing there wanting to do it, paying me $100 a month to do that with me. And then do that every day. And every day have 20 people doing it with me. So now I'm working out. And by throwing a weighted ball, I mean I have a weighted ball that I do weighted cardio with. It's just a bit ball. It's about this big. It weighs 15 pounds. And I do a half an hour of interval training weighted cardio holding this thing. Not easy. I could go down to the beach and do that. And every day have 20 people show up who are paying me $100 a month to show up once a week. So that's $2,000 a session. Do it 5 days a week, making $10,000 a month. Easy. Could do that. So if you have a list of things that you want to do and you can't quite decide where you should focus, this is going to help you focus. Find the thing on your list that most closely aligns with your inspiration. So why do we do this? But why, Prouty? But why? Here's why. To be successful, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people don't think about or believe nowadays. To be successful, you got to be in it with discipline, dedication, and determination for a long period of time. For a long period of time. To be successful in business, here's what happens. I'll go full screen on this. Here's what happens. I'm going to use a metaphor for you. You ever talk to people who went to a casino and they come out of the casino telling you how much money they won? Does that ever happen to you? Where you talk to somebody that they've been to a casino and they're like, I'm just seeing my hair for the first time today and I'm shocked by it. People come to a casino, people go to a casino. That's a place where people go and they gamble. Like they play games that you pay money and you have a chance of winning money. You always hear about people who come back from the casino who won money. You never hear from people who lost. No one ever comes home from the casino and they call you up and they're like, oh, that was a fast $2,000 that I just lost. People don't talk about that. And the casinos rely on this. The casinos rely on the fact that people only talk about when they win. They rarely talk about how much or when they lose. And it's very similar on social media with business. People are very fast to tell you about their wins, but they will never tell you when they lose. They'll never tell you about the struggle, unless they're trying to sell you something and they're playing into your struggle. They'll never tell you about how many times they missed payroll. They'll never tell you about the worry and the stress and the strain. They will never tell you about the anxiety and the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome. They won't tell you about that. They're only going to show you the cars. They're only going to show you the wins, and they're going to make it look like it happened overnight. It never happens overnight. It doesn't happen that way in business, and it never will. And in the rare event that it does, it's a glitch. It's not reality. It takes a long time with a lot of dedication and a lot of determination and a lot of discipline to be successful in business. When people look like they're an overnight success and they're showcasing things to make it look like an overnight success, remember the people that come from the casino and talk about their winnings. The losers never talk about losing. And online things happen so fast because here you are scrolling with your thumb, watching, and then all of a sudden you see something, you see you see the symbols of success. And you're like, holy, how did they get that so fast? Because they're only talking about their success. They're not talking about I tried this and it didn't work. 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 And I finally tried this and it worked. They're only saying, oh, look, I got the car. I got the lifestyle. I got the dinners out. I got the vacations. I got the. And to you, it looks like it was instantaneous. And that is messing with your brain in a big way, because that is affecting your brain to say, when you sit down and try something and it doesn't work right away, that there's something wrong with you and that you're not made for this and that you're not cut out for this. But the reality is, to succeed in business takes time, takes persistence and discipline and dedication and determination. And you've got to put the blinders on. Nobody knows it. Boy, nobody knows it better than Cicely, right? You put the blinders on, you put your head down, and the idiots that are showcasing the lifestyle, and they're out there, oh, look where I'm traveling this week. Look at the great life I have. You gotta shut that noise out, because that noise is messing with your brain. That's the noise that says everybody wins when they come out of the casino, because the only thing people talk about when they come out of the casino is how much they won. They never talk about how much they lose. And people never openly will share with you their business struggles and their failures and all the things they've tried that didn't work. And the only thing that's going to bring you success is when something doesn't work, collect the feedback, put it back into the mechanism, reframe the hypothesis, and go and experiment again. And if you sit there and say, well, I tried, didn't work, you're not cut out for this. You might not be cut out for this. You might want to go and work for somebody else and make somebody else's dream come true. Daryl Hall. I said it. I said it. Just like my buddy Daryl Hall says, go make somebody else's dreams come true. Listen to this. Wow. I hope if one person got the reference, I'll be happy. If one person got the reference, I'll be happy. You got to figure out if you're cut out for this. And to be cut out for this, you got to put the blinders on. You've got to put your head down, and you got to find the failure. You got to loop it back in. I do not want to call private clients out, but I have the most inspirational story of a private client who, great idea, tried, implemented, didn't work. Great idea, tried, implemented, didn't work. Great idea, tried, implemented, didn't work. Great idea, tried, worked. And then we sit there and go, why didn't we think of this before? Because we needed all of these things. We needed the try, didn't work, feedback, fed back into the hypothesis, experiment, test, kind of work, didn't work, feedback, fed back into the hypothesis, tried, new hypothesis, new feedback. Oh, worked. How long did it take? A long time. Was it worth it? Every second. Somebody says, somebody says break and fix until you figure it out. You got to keep breaking stuff until you figure it out. And by breaking stuff, you've got to look at the core components of your business. You got to pull something out and try to do your business without it, and then watch everything fail and then put it back in, but make it better before you put it back in. If you look at the masterminds, so here's the evolution of the two. I only run two masterminds. I have two masterminds and private clients. That's all I do. If you look at the evolution of the masterminds, it's phenomenal. I love how it evolved. And I never see anything as failed when I do this. I never really see anything as failed. I didn't start with the what I call the low barrier to entry mastermind, the Force Acceleration Mastermind, very, very low barrier to entry. And everybody tells me it's too cheap to come into this thing. Everybody tells me. They're like, oh, you're not charging enough. You're not charging enough for what they get. It's fine. I didn't start with that. I started with the high-end mastermind. The one that, they get a lot of my time, a lot of my energy. I spend a lot of money on researching and synthesizing and bringing things. We meet in person. I started with that. And then that provided me with the feedback that, well, wait a minute, what if we were to change this, take out parts of it, reshape it, put it together as something else? And then that's where Inner Circle, now Force Acceleration, came from. So you would think that you start with the easy one, the easy one for people to get into, and then you graduate people to the bigger one. But I did the reverse, and I'm so glad I did, because I learned so much about running masterminds with this group of people, some of whom jumped. I remember the phrase I used when I started promoting it. I said, I'm starting this thing. If you want to jump the line, let me know. And some people who are still a part of it today, years and years later, I remember them messaging me saying, I want to jump the line. And here they are. So I did it in reverse, and I'm so glad I did, because that's the process of experimenting, collecting feedback, and then putting that feedback into a whole new hypothesis. If you jump back in time to 2017, 2018, I built an entire training that I thought people would want. Listen to this one. Some of you know this story. This took months of my life where I did nothing other than put my head down and build. And I built I think it was like a 12-week training on search engine optimization, because I came out of the womb doing SEO. I was born doing SEO. My mom thought about naming me SEO because when I was born, I didn't cry initially. I said, "What's your page rank?" That was my first words were H1 meta tag. That was my very first words as a child. Was how many H1s do you have on a page? 2? That was me as a child. So I built this entire training on SEO. It was a 12-week program. It took me months and months and months to build. Couldn't sell it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. And then I had as many as you want, as long as they're meaningful. You can have as many H2s as you want, as long as they're meaningful and they break up the content into logical sections. So 6 would be the max, I would say. Maybe 8. I had one pity buy, and then 2 people bought the program and started their own SEO agencies. And they're doing great. Years later, they're still doing great. But they all came back to me and they said, the 2 weeks on social media were the best 2 weeks of the program. Feedback. Loop the feedback into the hypothesis. So the feedback was, number one, not a lot of people want to learn SEO. Okay. Just because I love it doesn't mean everybody does. Fatal flaw, right? I built something without testing the market. And then everybody loved the social media, 2 weeks of social media. Feed that back into the system, completely reshape. Here we are today with thousands of clients who have taken my social media, how to get clients from social media training. By the way, if you're here on the YouTube and you are watching this live or in the replay, and you are fascinated learning how to get clients coming to you pre-sold so that your sales calls turn into how do I get signed up calls, all you have to do is go to prouty.me, which is in the chat. Go to prouty.me, and I'll put that in the chat again for you guys. What's up, Power Plus Nature? I'm so glad you're here. Go there, spend 15 minutes with me, and you will decide if you want to come in and do this stuff. I'm not going to even try to sell it to you. You, at the end of the call, you will either be going, just tell me where to send the money, or you'll say, oh, okay, I don't want to do this. I'm not inspired to do this. I only want people who are inspired to be in here. Those people get insanely good results. So you go to prouty.me, and I will not sell it to you, but I will help you. I will give you some advice that will help you right away. Okay, so the message here is this. Success takes a long time. It takes a long time. And you have to have the ability to close your eyes and take a deep breath and not get ready and not worry about it. Worry, listen, write this down. Write this down. Worry worships the problem. Worry worships the problem. Stop worrying and just focus on taking steps, guys and gals. Stop worrying. Stop worshiping the problem and put your head down and get the steps done. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for saying that. Worrying worships the problem. Your job right now is to put the blinders on, stop scrolling, stop worshiping others' success, and take the steps. If you could replace one thumb scroll with one action, your success will come faster than you could ever possibly imagine. If you could swap one behavior for another, swap the thumb swipe, listen, you're going to hear me. You're going to hear me. Some of you tell me that I take up space in your brain. You're going to be on your phone later, and you're going to go like this. You're going to swipe your thumb to see what's next, and you're going to hear me say, replace the thumb swipe with an action towards your goals. Replace a destructive behavior with a productive behavior. Because the thumb swipe is destroying you. Because you're comparing yourself to others. You're looking at others' fake success. Look, people are extremely insecure. And the people who look the most confident online are the most insecure because they're having to work so hard to get you to notice them. They are so insecure that they're having to go all the way over here just to feel some small level of validation by your like or your comment. That's what's happening. So you have a choice when you're on your phone later. You have a choice. You can either feed people's insecurity or you could take small steps towards your success. There are miles to cover, friends. Miles and miles to cover. But they're not going to cover themselves. I say this about running every day. It's like literally when I walk out the door, I'm like, those miles are not going to run themselves because they're not. I have to run those miles. Your business is not going to grow itself. Yeah, until we get the asymmetric things happening. But right now, your business is, even when we do, your business is not going to run itself. You've got to run your business. You've got to take the steps. You've got to have the discipline, the desire, the determination to put the blinders on and grow your business. Take the steps. By the way, if you happen to be here on the YouTube, before I forget, if you want the straightforward path to doing that, and you want to be around a group of incredible people who will cheer you on along the way, just go to prouty.me. That's my last name. You can see it right here near the video, .me. Schedule a few minutes on my calendar. I'll give you some actionable advice that will help you start right away. And then I'm going to tell you what it's like to be in my collaborative mastermind, where you get a bunch of people who are all cheering you on and helping you succeed faster. Or you could try to do it on your own. Either way, I'm cool with it. We're at the top of the hour, guys. you guys who are in the mastermind, who are in either of the masterminds, we have coffee in 1 hour. I'm just going to open up my Zoom. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to try to replicate this. This coffee that I made today is by far insanely good. It's so very, very good. Iced double espresso. I'm going to try to replicate and try to make another one of these before our 2 o'clock call. That's 2 o'clock Eastern. Somebody says we're all here to help each other. Let me just go back through. Did I miss anybody that said anything really cool? Doing the STEM exercise last year was, in my opinion, the single biggest force accelerator. Thank you for saying that, because it helped me cut out all the fluff, busy work, and wasting activity. So you guys who are in the mastermind, go. It's a good time to go revisit that, what we did in October. It would be a good time to remind yourself of the exercises we did. It's in the membership area. You have access to it. If you don't have access to it, well, we got to figure out why. It might mean that you're not in the mastermind. We got to get you in there. Focus on the fundamentals. I'm really glad that you said that. Breaking the mold will help you keep improving. Yes. Figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work, move ahead. Darcy, well said. Break and fix multiple times until you figure it out. We said that. You make my dreams come true. Failure beats inaction. Brilliantly put. Failure beats inaction. Somebody says I'm sharing harsh truth today. That's true. Stay the course and ignore the noise. Brilliantly put. You can tell the real deal folks from the fakers. You absolutely can. And somebody says it's Friday. Yes, it is. The brain rewiring training was a paradigm shift for me. Good. I had a question to ask you about my work environment here, but I got to get on the 1 o'clock. Mastermind friends, Collab friends, still 2 days left of the work week. I will see you at 2 o'clock for coffee. All right. You guys know where to be. The links are inside the membership area. You'll find those there, but you know where to go. Thank you so much. I'm going to shut down the YouTube. Hey, YouTube, thanks for being here.